Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about mutual appreciation. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's obvious that both myself and Jack Kempster appreciate each other mutually, but that's silly. We're talking about a film, obviously.
Do you plan these jokes before, Liam?
Surprisingly, no.
Oh, God. Okay.
So, yeah, that's just one example of Jack appreciating me. And if we listen long enough, we might find an example of me appreciating him. But first, it's time for my favourite section, catching up with Jack and Liam. So, Jack, how's it going?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yep, just got back from a week's holiday in the Isle of Wight.
Another holiday, listeners.
Oh, I know.
I mean, some of us haven't had a single holiday this year, but others have had two.
Yep.
Where's the justice?
Yeah, but your work sent you to America, so maybe don't complain.
Yeah, not really a holiday though, is it?
You went to, like, Yellowstone National Park.
Still, not a holiday.
Other ideas, people of a holiday. Other people's ideas of a holiday? I think I might have said that the wrong way.
That's fine. Isle of Wight, how was it?
Hot.
Really?
Really fucking hot the whole week.
But, like, when you think about it, the Isle of Wight isn't that far away from where I am, and I can't say it was that hot last week.
Well, I mean, it was hot when you were in the sun all day. You've been sitting inside a house, I imagine.
Oh, I try to, yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
When you're in a tent in a field, you tend to get quite a lot of sun. I'm horrendously tanned.
I can't actually imagine you with a tan. I feel like...
It looks wrong.
Yeah, with the amount of hair you have, I feel like you wouldn't get much of a tan anyway.
Well, all my arm hairs and stuff turn, like, blonde in the sun.
Yeah.
So it's no protection from the sun itself.
Yeah, but what about your, like, face?
Well, that's less tanned. It's mainly my arms that are, like, obviously tanned.
So if you shaved, would you have, like, a tan line beard?
I might have a little bit of one at the moment, because I shaved before Bulgaria.
Of course.
Because I was like, I don't want to get the white chin.
Yeah, I saw the pictures and I have to admit you did look really weird.
Yeah, people always say that when I shave my beard off.
Yeah.
But it grew back a bit before I was white, so we'll see. I'll shave it off at some point and find out.
Maybe if you spend more time in the sun, you'll kind of boost up that tan a bit.
Yeah, but then I have to actually go in the sun is the issue.
Yeah, but I thought you was all about Pokemon Go and going outside and having fun in the sun.
Yeah, but I'm not, like, tanning.
You could be.
I don't want to.
If you sort of walked around looking upwards, that would help.
Then I'm not going to be looking at the phone, Liam. How will I catch the Pokemon?
Well, you can, like, move your phone so you're holding it above your head as you look up.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying there are options.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, what did you get up to on the Isle of Wight?
Oh, all sorts, mate. All sorts.
Yeah?
Yep.
Because the Isle of Wight is well known for being a hotbed of activity.
Oh, just tons. Just so much stuff we were doing. Whoa.
Tractor driving?
Nope.
Bungee jumping?
No.
Surfboarding?
No. People went in the sea. That happened.
Did you go in the sea?
No.
Why not?
So basically, when you're doing so, I think we said to listeners that I help at a youth group thing.
Yeah. I'm sure they know that.
Yeah. And so this is that summer holiday they go on for a week. And our rules are they can't go past the 2 staff members that are in the sea.
Okay.
And I was like, I've been in the sea in Bulgaria, and it was nice. I don't want to go in the sea in the Isle of Wight, where it'll be freezing, no matter how hot the sun is. So I just went, I'm not a swimming officer. And I wasn't.
Okay. What the people that went in the sea, did they say it was cold?
Yes, they looked frozen.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
But equally, I guess they did it because they wanted the children to have a good time.
Yeah, you'd assume so.
But you weren't that interested in that.
No, not in the swimming bit, no. I set up a volleyball net for them. They can deal with the sea themselves.
Okay. Was that a popular thing?
Yeah. Beach volleyball, it's always fun.
Yeah, I guess.
You wouldn't know, Liam.
Why wouldn't I know? I've played beach volleyball before.
When have you played beach volleyball?
When I went to Jamaica once.
I can't picture you in Jamaica.
I'll be honest, I was 14 at the time, or maybe even 13, so didn't really fit in.
No, that's fair enough.
You know, too young to really understand why I should be enjoying it, and also I was there for a wedding, so there was like stuff I actually had to do there.
Right.
Like go to a wedding. Which
we've just established is your least favourite thing on holidays, is doing things.
Not necessarily on holidays, just in life.
In general.
You know, if I can avoid doing something, that to me is a day well spent.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, what were the highlights of the week?
Did a night hike, set that all up.
Okay. Oh, because we were talking about that briefly last time. I don't know if that made it into the final edit, but maybe it did.
Yeah.
Because you were saying last time about how you got scared
Oh yeah,
being
that's right.
alone in a night hike. So did you have to do that again?
No, I didn't have to be. Me and my dad teamed up to because he runs.
Because you were like, I don't want to be alone. I'm scared. And it's like, I'll look after you.
Have you ever stood in the woods alone by yourself, Liam?
Yeah.
When?
Well, the thing is, I think what you don't realise is when you stand in the woods alone at night, someone else has to be there to make the creepy noises. So that's what I go and do.
Wait, I'm very confused. What are you saying there? Are you implying that you're some sort of stalker who just wanders the woods at night,
making weird noises,
and scares people?
Yeah. I'm like, twigs don't just break on their own, right?
No, you're right. I do feel like you're missing a very obvious culprit for that sort of thing, Liam.
Yeah.
Which is the myriad of wildlife that lives in our woods.
Such as?
Owls, foxes, badgers, rabbits, squirrels, mice, rats.
Yeah, I guess.
They're all around at night, Liam.
Okay, so let's say it's night time, hypothetically.
You know how I love my hypotheticals. Yep, go on.
And you're stood there in the woods, and a twig breaks, and you turn around. Out of those creatures you listed, which one would you most like to see, and which one would you least like to see?
I would most like to see a rabbit.
Yeah.
I would least like to see some sort of xenomorph.
You didn't list xenomorph.
Yeah, but I feel like that was a given. I wouldn't care if I saw any of the animals.
What about a rat? Big old gnarly rat.
I like rats. Rats are quite sweet.
What about a fox?
Foxes are sweet too.
Not all of them. Sometimes they can be quite vicious little buggers.
I like foxes.
What about a randy badger?
Why does it have to be randy?
I'm just trying to find a way that you wouldn't like it.
I mean, if it's randy, I feel like it's not going to bother me.
And it might
looking to hump a female.
No, it might hump your leg.
Well, again, that's probably that's better than like the alternatives with a badger.
Which is?
They can bite you and they're really vicious.
He might be into that. I don't know. I don't know how badgers have sex.
I mean, I imagine it's quite violent. I don't know.
So, night hike.
Yeah.
Roaring success? Didn't lose anyone?
We did lose a team.
Okay, so not a roaring success then.
No, it's still a success because they sorted it. You know, instead of me and my dad having to go and find that team, they were in communication with another member of staff and got themselves back on track and stuff.
How did they communicate?
They've got phones.
Oh, that's cheating.
They don't use them. They're not allowed to. They're not. No, they've got. What do you mean? They've got phones, but they don't use them for anything other than calling us. They're in the middle of a field in the Isle of Wight where the reception is terrible.
Right, here's the thing. In my younger days, I joined a scout group for a very brief period of time because it just went very wrong, Jack. It went very wrong.
Did someone do something to you?
Well, so this was when like scouts started becoming like mixed genders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know sort of when that was introduced, but so the first way I got into it is a friend of mine invited me on like a week-long scout camping trip.
Yep.
Got the
Sorry,
words
I'm laughing at the words a scout tramp.
Yeah, scout tramping.
My friend invited me for a week with a scout tramp.
Yeah. That's when I first realised I didn't really like camping. Do you know what? I went 3 days without doing a wee because I didn't really know where I was allowed to do a wee, and it got to the point where it was so bad
Just
that, like,
the woods.
in the middle of the night, I went and did a wee in a tree trunk.
Yeah, I think that's what you're meant to do.
Yeah, but it was weird. It was also back in the days before my eyes went wrong and I couldn't see at night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2 parts of this story, I guess. Part 1, I did a night hike. This wasn't on that camping trip. This was later on.
Yeah.
They did a night hike, like, somewhere. I don't know where. It was alright, you know, we just walked around and chatted shit, really, and looked at some stars and that.
Yep.
But yeah, my brief foray into scouts. So on this camping week, there was a girl there that, you know, she took a bit of a shine to me, can't blame her. She's only human, after all. And we sort of hit off a bit. Afterwards, we kind of hung out a couple of times, watched some movies together, got a little bit flirtatious. Again, we were maybe like 14 at this point.
Okay.
But I got bored. And there was another girl there that I preferred, so I went after her instead. And then that just caused a load of drama, so I left.
You're aware that a lot of the stories where, like, I feel like most people's stories of why they don't like certain things and why they quit things are usually because someone else caused a problem or there was some other, like, external issue. But most of your stories of that nature are just, I did something stupid and bad, so I just left.
Yep.
I didn't know where to pee. I annoyed a girl by going after another girl.
Yeah.
So I just quit the scouts.
And fun fact, other girl, not interested. Like, we arranged to
That
go on a
doesn't
date.
surprise me.
It should. We arranged to go on a date. We went and saw Cats and Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
No. Oh, sorry, tell a lie. I'm getting the girls mixed up. I saw Cats and Dogs with the first
Oh,
one.
that's good. So not only did you go off to two different girls, you also forget which one's which.
Yeah, the second one I went to see Austin Powers Gold member with.
Oh, okay.
Then we went for food, and it was like that awkward thing where it's like, what do you want to get to eat? She's like, I wasn't really hungry, I just agreed to come because I thought you were hungry. I was like, well, I wasn't that hungry, I just came because I thought you were hungry. It was that level of awkwardness.
Oh, okay.
And then the friend that invited me to the camping trip, you know, the one that started this all off, turned out he really fancied the girl that I went after, so we stopped talking as well.
Had he said to you before that he liked that girl, or did you found that out later?
So,
Oh, God, Liam.
So...
You're a bad friend.
No, to be fair...
No, there's no to be fair.
There is a to be fair. I was young and stupid. I'm better now.
Not to be fair.
No, I'm better now.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess.
if you were like, oh, I'm really into this girl, I probably wouldn't go after her.
It's that probably that I don't like Liam.
I mean, if she's like insanely hot and her standards are that low, I'm obviously going to give it a go. But... So, moving on.
Yep.
Anything? Well, so that was the highlight of the week, yeah?
Yep.
What was the low light?
I can tell you, Liam, it was the worst experience I've had on, I think it's something like 10 of these camps that I've been on, including when I was a kid.
This sounds like story time. I'm excited.
It is story time, Liam. So, picture this. The staff, we share tents, like how the kids are sharing tents. So, there were 3 of us, 3 members of staff, one 20, me 24, another one 19. Right?
Do you get on with these two?
Yeah, they're great guys. I'm really good friends with the 19-year-old, and I hadn't really properly spoken to the 20-year-old a lot before, but he's hilarious.
Okay.
So we're all getting on like a house on fire. Brilliant times. We're in the tent at night. It's about, I think it was probably 12:30.
Yeah.
So, you know, considering we're getting up at 6, 7 every day.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck
yeah,
that.
yeah. We're staying up pretty... It's weird. I don't know why they do it, but it's fine. But so we're lying there. I'm reading my Kindle. The 19-year-old lad's watching YouTube on his phone. The other guy's asleep. Now, you know that I don't like insects a lot.
Yeah, particularly moths.
Yeah, I'm terrified of moths. I don't know why. Although I seemed better with them this year, and I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Who knows?
So we're sitting in the tent. It's all quiet. And then we hear a noise, Liam. And I know what this noise is.
Yeah.
Because I have dealt with bugs before. I know what the sound is. It's the sound of a cricket.
Okay.
Now, when you picture a cricket...
Like Pinocchio?
I'd picture something quite small.
Yeah, Jiminy Cricket.
Little tiny cricket.
Has a little top hat and does a little dance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking round, I'm like, well, there's a cricket in here. That's going to be very annoying, noise-wise. Maybe I can just scoop it out of the tent, whatever. So I'm looking around, I can't see anything. It does it a few more times. The guy that's watching YouTube is like, did you hear a noise? And I was like, yeah, there's definitely something in this tent. So we're looking around for it.
Yeah.
Shine our light on the tent. And we see this cricket crawl out. And this thing was like, if you put your hands together and make a circle.
Yeah. I've got quite big hands, don't forget. You've got quite little baby hands, so...
Alright, well, make yours, like, the first knuckle on each finger joining together.
Right, okay.
With a circle. Leg span of about that.
Yeah.
This cricket crawls down our door. And he is worse than me with insects.
Oh, no.
A lot worse. So he is paralysed with fear.
Okay.
This cricket is crawling around our door of our tent so we can't get out.
Yeah, you're trapped.
And we had absolutely nothing to catch it in.
Yeah. What about like a cap?
I had a cap, but crickets can jump.
That's true. They're
And there's also, you know, that hole in the back of a cap where it joins up, so it would have just crawled out.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe not the best of ideas, but in a pinch.
No, in a pinch. But, so, cue 30 minutes
Yeah.
of him lying in bed staring at the cricket with a torch trained on it so that I can see where it is.
Yeah.
And 30 minutes of me standing in my boxers and a t-shirt saying, do I really have to kill this cricket? I don't like killing things. I don't want to kill it.
Okay.
But it refused to leave the tent. So eventually, after 30 minutes of standing with a sandal in my hand, I squashed said cricket.
Okay.
So that was terrifying, Liam. That was terrifying. And the worst part of the story is the next day when we woke up, the cricket had not been killed by my sandal. I had left it paralysed and felt even more terrible than I already did.
Jesus. So how did you know it was still alive?
Because I saw it on the corner of our tent with its little antenna wiggling.
Oh, no.
But not able to move. And I felt, honestly, I genuinely hate killing things.
Yeah.
I don't do it unless I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
So seeing that I hadn't killed this thing, had only left it paralysed, I was like, oh, I fucked up.
I mean, from its perspective, it must have been like, why did you do this to me?
I mean, from its perspective, it was like, I want to fuck these fairy lights, which is what it was trying to do.
Okay.
And then it suddenly got squashed by a sandal and was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I've been hit. I guess this fairy light didn't want to have sex with me. Now I can't move.
Poor little guy.
Yeah.
So that was the low light then?
That was the low light, Liam.
Okay, that's a shame. But, you know, it could have been a lot worse, I guess.
It could have been a giant tarantula.
Yes, now that would have been... I'd have cut a hole in the back of the tent.
I'd have just crawled... Well, the back has a door too, but I was like... There was a point where the other guy was like, maybe we should just move into one of the vacant tents. And I was like, mate, we're 19 to 25. We can't be remembered as the two guys that had to move tents because there was a bug.
Couldn't you go out the back and then open the front to let the cricket out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright. I guess, in the heat of the moment...
Well, I was terrified that it might jump on me.
Yeah, no, of course.
Like, if I opened those doors, it could have just jumped out
right at you, and then just pinged straight off of you, probably.
What if it, like, buried itself inside me?
Yeah, that's definitely a what if that we can spend no time...
I've seen The Mummy, mate. I know what insects do.
Alright, that's good.
So tell me then.
Yeah.
While I had my week of holiday...
Yeah.
What did you do?
I went to the cinema.
Ooh.
Yeah. I saw 2 films. Now, this isn't like I went to the cinema once. I did it over 2 separate days.
Yeah.
Just to make that clear. So now it's time for Liam went to the cinema, and this is his spoiler-free review of the film that he saw at the cinema.
Films.
Gotcha. First one, Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Now, you haven't seen it, right?
No, it came out the day that I was leaving for camp, and I got back like 2 days ago and was with my parents yesterday.
Yeah, so have you heard much about it?
I've heard that it's bad.
Okay. But then we also heard that Batman vs Superman was bad.
I've heard other people say it's alright. I've not heard anyone say it's the best DC film they've ever seen.
Okay. Well.
Your opinion?
Not as good as Batman vs Superman.
Oh god, then it's terrible.
Which obviously I really liked. It definitely has flaws. It has some pacing issues. Maybe some tone issues. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, I'd say, personally, 4 out of 5.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm going to go see it at some point.
Yeah, I would
don't
say...
want it to be fun, though. I want DC to... Like, the issue I've got with DC at the moment is they've tried to throw their, like, you know, throw in their... What I don't know, there's a saying that has throw in something, but it's throw in the towel and that's quit. I want them to put something out there that is on par with what Marvel are doing with their franchise, which is a universe that is all tied together.
Okay.
And they're really good films, right?
Yeah.
Because Suicide Squad feels like it's meant to be the Guardians of the Galaxy of DC, as in it's, you know, more comedical than other films maybe. It's a bit more jokey, a bit more lighthearted, and not the main cast, effectively.
It's not Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I'm not saying it's Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm just saying it feels like it's that.
Yeah.
So, like, where that fits in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
So it's a different story with different people that you might not know as well.
So what I get, it's a natural comparison. What I will say is where it differs, Guardians does a better job of introducing each of the members of the team than Suicide Squad does. But
really?
Yeah, because essentially, again, I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but essentially Suicide Squad kind of just gives you little brief snippets of each character's backstory, like right at the start, and it almost feels a bit like you're watching a mixtape.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that for me, it wasn't like a deal breaker, but it was a bit of a, this could have been done maybe a bit smoother sort of thing. Now, the real selling point was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Yep, obviously.
I just loved every second she was on the screen. Fantastic. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. I don't want to go too much further into it because I feel like it'd be potentially spoiling things, so I'm going to leave it there.
Oh, can you give me a yay or nay on Jared Leto's... Can you give me a yay or nay on Jared Leto's Joker?
Yay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that I'd heard big issues with.
A lot of people have big issues with it. For me, a lot of people as well, one of the things that even he has said is he said they filmed a lot of stuff with the Joker that didn't make the final cut. But
did you hear that thing about how apparently the film got filmed and then the company that edited it, it got given over to a company that makes trailers?
I did not hear that, no.
That was going around on Reddit. I don't know how accurate it is, but I was like, that's not great if it's true.
Yeah, I actually noticed a couple of moments from the trailers that weren't in the final film.
Yeah, so I think the part of the story of it getting a really last minute final edit must have been true then.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, It definitely does feel like there's more to the Joker story than we get to see, but I was okay with that, and I think they used him just enough in this film without it basically becoming like his story.
Yeah.
The only other thing for me, I wasn't a huge fan of who the kind of like the big bad was, if you will.
Oh, okay.
But I liked that we didn't actually, at least I didn't know who the big bad was going into the film, so I like there was an element of surprise there.
I've got no idea who it is.
Yeah, so that was good.
I just assumed it was the Joker, which is...
Well, maybe not. So, the thing is, and this is what I said to Kat, and I've said it many times, there was a moment when I was watching Suicide Squad where I had a thought, and that thought was, you wouldn't get this in a Marvel movie.
Oh, okay.
And that just made me smile and happy because, as I've said many times, what Marvel do, they do well. I don't want to go and see DC just copying Marvel. I want to see them doing their own different thing, and I think that's why I was happy with it.
But the issue with DC is they did their own thing and were doing it well, and then went, right, let's restart and let's try and catch up with Marvel. Because DC were doing super well with the Batman Begins franchise.
Yeah, but that was always going to be a trilogy. I think that was like planned from day one.
Yeah, that's fine. But they should have realised from that what we're good at is gritty. Like they got the heroes to be gritty.
Yeah, I think the issue is
they've not been doing that well with anyone.
Yeah, I think they did Man of Steel and that did okay-ish, but then Avengers really hit home and they were like, shit, we need to jump on that train, basically.
Yeah, they're still trying to catch up with Marvel, whereas they should be going, it doesn't matter, we'll do our own thing.
While I do agree, I kind of like I like this world that they are developing and establishing. Like, obviously, having all of these villains who clearly have a history in this world, I really liked.
Yeah.
Apparently, as well, there's rumours that there might be, in development, a Harley Quinn solo movie.
Not sure how I feel about that.
Well, I'm 100% down with that.
I'm down with it because I love Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
But I don't know how down with it I am based on, I don't know what she's going to be like solo. But then I haven't seen her in Suicide Squad, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. What I did do afterwards is I then read the first volume of the new 52 Suicide Squad. Yeah,
which is really good, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, and again, mostly because of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I'm going on a bit of a Harley Quinn kick and trying to find comics
great,
and
mate.
read that. Yeah, I'm finally, on board that train.
You get it now.
Now I finished reading Preacher, I found that I'm going through my comic collection a bit quicker.
Ah, okay.
Because it's not like it was a slog or anything, but it was just a lot of time was just dedicated to essentially one story.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm sort of jumping between stories a lot more.
Yeah, fair enough.
Did you also hear that Man of Steel 2 has been greenlit?
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm kind of happy about that.
That's what the world needs. That's what the world definitely needs. Another Superman film with this same style of Superman.
Well, we don't know who's directing it. We don't know if it's Zack Snyder directing it yet.
Yeah, but I imagine that no matter what they try and do, Warner Bros. Will go, oh, could you drop in a trailer or 4 for these other heroes that we want to show?
Well, as you know, we disagree fundamentally on the representation of Superman in these movies. What I'm personally hoping for is his experience through something like the Justice League, which will obviously come first, will hopefully, and obviously the spoiler thing that happened at the end of the last movie, that will hopefully help mould him into a more recognisable Superman for you.
But I won't like that.
Why not?
Because our issues aren't different. Like, you want him to be the Superman in training.
Yeah.
Right? Which is what I wanted him to be. The bit we disagree on is you think he was, and I don't think he was. So the issue isn't that I want an actual Superman. Superman's the most boring hero. I love Superman when he's got doubts and when he's like that graphic novel you recommended me. Was it called The Death of Superman?
No, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good because it's got like Superman actually struggling with ideas and shit, and I'm like, that's when Superman's interesting, not when he's the golden boy, which is what will happen after Justice League.
We don't know that because obviously it depends how they deal with the big thing that happened, because having that have happened to him could lead to those doubts and stuff.
Maybe. I've not got that. Like, I'm at the point where I'll probably still go see DC films when they come out.
Yeah.
But DC have fucked my trust with 2 films. So, like, at this point, I'm happy to go and watch them and want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I don't have faith that that is what I'll get.
Well, I'm really keen to hear what you thought of Suicide Squad, so I'll
definitely go and see it.
Yeah. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Next film I saw, Mike and Dave need wedding dates. Now, this is the third Zac Efron comedy, like raunchy comedy, that's been released this year.
How does he have the time?
Well, as you know, I love the guy, right? I'm a big fan.
You do?
If anyone is happy to see him in the cinema 3 times on the big screen shirtless, it's going to be me, okay?
Yeah.
But he's proven that he can do comedy at this point. I want to see him tackle some different stuff, you know?
Okay.
Like, imagine him in a horror film, like, not necessarily an out-and-out gore fest, but imagine him in, like, Cabin in the Woods. Did you see that?
No, I never did.
Right, in that sort of film, he'd be good, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I want to see him given... I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for Baywatch that's coming out next year. But I just want to see him do maybe a bit of action, a bit of horror, just spread his wings a little bit away from comedy now.
Maybe he can't act in those films, Liam?
No, he can, he's brilliant.
Maybe
brilliant.
You're jaded?
No, he's brilliant. Now, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, fine film. It hits sort of your typical plot points that you would expect it to hit. It doesn't really do anything particularly surprising. A couple of the jokes fall flat, but more than often I was smiling, happy. 2.5 out of 5. The only thing is, it has Anna Kendrick in it.
Yeah.
And she plays this kind of like trashy girl pretending to be like a good girl.
Yeah.
And she super does not suit that role. She would better suit like a good girl pretending to be trashy, I think.
Yeah.
So Aubrey Plaza as well. I feel like she keeps getting cast in movies, but people don't really know how to utilise her like deadpan comedy that she does so well in Parks and Rec.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like she needs to find her own sort of film vehicle away from these broader comedies like this and Dirty Grandpa that was earlier in the year.
Yes, fair enough.
Adam Devine as well. He was alright. Like, I think he's fine.
I like him.
Yeah, I have no problems with the guy, but he's not as good to look at as Zac Efron, so it was a bit more hit and miss for me.
I wish that your rating... I wish that I could... You know, I just hope for a world where there's a Liam whose ratings aren't based on how sexy Zac Efron is in a film.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
It would be.
But that's not the world we live in, Jack.
It's not.
We live in, like, the worst... What is it? The one from Community? Like, the worst option.
Yeah, I can't remember what they call it.
Yeah. Is it the worst timeline?
Yeah, it might be that, yeah.
Something else I've been doing lately.
Uh-huh.
Went to the comic book shop, as I'm known to do.
Yep, you have been known to do that.
I noticed, up on the very top shelf, tucked away, comic. I was like, I don't recognise that. All I saw was a red corner of this comic just sticking out. And I clocked it, and I thought, I'm here a lot, and I don't recognise seeing that before. So I plucked it out.
Uh-huh.
And on the back cover, it basically says, I can't remember it word for word, so I'm paraphrasing, but the first thing I read was BDSM is basically just for sexual nerds. It's kind of like roleplay.
Okay.
I thought, well, that sounds interesting. I had a flick through. It was eye-opening, Jack.
Is it just a sex comic?
It's not just a sex comic, Jack.
Is it just a sex comic?
It's not just a sex comic.
Liam, it sounds like you picked up a sex comic.
It's not just a sex comic.
How much of it? Give me a percentage. How much is sex?
Like, I don't know. Enough that I was happy.
75?
Maybe.
Okay.
The thing is, obviously, at this point, I was just flicking through. And I flicked through, and there was just images of these two women in various states of undress and also bondage gear. So I showed it to one of the owners of the comic book shop. I mean, this looks interesting. And he just went, I wasn't expecting that. Because I don't think he even knew what it was about.
Jesus.
And I went, I'll buy this, please. Now, here's the thing. I went into it thinking, you know, this will be... Some chuckles are to be had here. It actually turned out to be really good. Like, I got really into the story.
Yeah.
And so it's called Sunstone, for anyone that's interested. And it's about these two women who... One wants to be a dom, and one wants to be a sub. Now, I don't know how much you know about the BDSM fetishist world.
I know enough to know what that means.
Could you please explain for our more innocent listeners?
A dom is the dominant member.
What would they do?
They're the one that's... I don't know, it's easier to explain what the sub does, isn't it? And then,
yeah, go on
the
then.
dom's just doing all that shit.
Right.
Because the sub is the submissive, and they're the one that gets tied up and stuff.
Yeah.
And has all the bad things happen, like whips and shit.
Yeah.
And then the dom's the one that's doing all that stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So, the story...
What are you, Liam?
I'd probably say more sub than dom.
Yeah?
Yeah, I I don't really feel too comfortable with being in that position of power because I feel like I would probably misuse it.
Fair enough. It's less what you enjoy and more that you don't trust yourself.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I mean, I think I'd have to pick Dom, but only because I'm terrified of being hurt.
Yeah, I know, but also since you couldn't even like kill a insect, I don't know. I literally don't know how you would like whip a woman.
Oh no, it would be like terrible if there was someone that actually wanted it, because they'd come out of it and be like, he actually did less than I was expecting. I think I ended up with cupcakes.
See, I feel like you would be more submissive, but I feel like you just wouldn't enjoy it.
Well, yeah, in that case, yes.
Yeah.
But then if someone was like, I want to tie you up with ropes, I'd be like, you need to leave.
Really? What if it was just tying up, but like...
No, fuck that.
But no pain involved?
What if it was tying me up?
What if it was tying up and teasing?
That sounds horrible.
No, so picture this, Jack, if you will.
We were both butt naked.
Let's say you are naked in this scenario.
Okay.
And let's say you have your hands like up over your head but tied like behind your neck, for example.
Yep.
And
I could just lift them over my neck. I'm trying it now.
Oh yeah, that would work.
I can get them over it. That's a bad one, Liam.
Not if you cross. No, even if you cross them, you
Yeah,
could.
even if you cross them.
Let's say
You got elbows, Liam. That's why God gave you elbows.
What if the rope was attached to a ceiling?
Okay.
There you go. That's what happened.
All right. So I'm tied up to the ceiling.
Yeah. Maybe you're blindfolded.
Yep.
And maybe you have a highly attractive woman friend.
Yep.
Who is trying to convince you, persuade you to say something, right? Like a safe word or something, yeah? But to do that...
She's trying to get me to say the safe word.
Yeah.
I'd just say it.
Alright, not a safe word.
She goes, I'm going to whip you. And I go, bananas. And she goes, that was real quick.
Okay.
And I didn't do anything.
Not a safe word, but like a... So, one of the scenarios they do in this comic is she basically says, I'm going to just treat you real nice. If you want me to become dominant and assume that role, you have to call me mistress. Okay? And then
great. No, that sounds like a great rule, because then I just would never say it.
Yeah, exactly. So then the submissive one is like, okay, well, I'm never going to say it. And the dominant one's, I think you'll find I can be very persuasive. So that's what I'm saying. So imagine that scenario, and you've got someone trying to persuade you to say that.
But what are they doing to persuade me? What does she do to persuade her to say it?
Like nibbles on her thighs and stuff.
But then why is she like... Why doesn't she just go... I don't understand.
Right, so imagine this, Jack. Imagine you're tied up to the ceiling naked, okay?
Again?
What?
Is this after I said the safe word?
No, now you've got to say the word mistress, okay? To be
But is
dominated.
this after, Liam? I need to understand.
Yeah.
For the sake of my imagination.
Yeah.
I've said the safe word, she let me down.
Yeah.
Then she's convinced me to go back in the
Yes,
rope.
that's exactly what's happened.
Got you.
That's exactly what happened. She went, so now, forget the safe word. We don't need it.
Done.
We don't need it. If you want me
We do. You could do anything. I'm tied to the roof.
You trust me, I'm your woman friend.
I don't trust her.
You should. She's your woman friend, Jack.
Okay, she's my woman friend, okay.
What would your safe word be?
Probably like bananas or something.
Okay. She goes, for me to be dominant...
Oh no, I'd do bear lock.
Okay. Whatever. For me to be dominant, you have to call me mistress, right?
I'm not going to call you mistress, Liam.
Well, this is just what will happen in this scenario.
Sorry, we're back in the fantasy, got you.
Yeah, in the fantasy.
Sorry, man.
So, I skipped a beat. Let's say you're not naked. Let's say you have trousers and a belt on. Yeah?
Okay.
Maybe some boxers, yeah? She, unbuckles the belt. You're blindfolded at this point, so it's just all sensations and noises and stuff.
Okay.
She pulls down the trousers.
Yeah.
And then she, rubs her naked chest against your body. And suddenly... Oh, there's a little tingle in Jack's downstairs
let's not get
area.
too detailed. So let me...
No, wait. We're not there yet.
Well, okay.
A little tingle in Jack's downstairs area. It's stirring. It's coming to life, if you will. And she sort of gently kisses, like around, but never fully touches. And it's... Obviously, being blindfolded, you can't really see what's going on, but you have that anticipation.
Right. I mean, so this is my question.
Yeah.
About the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand, because I don't want her to be dominant.
Yeah.
But I do very much want to have sex with her.
Yeah, well, that's the game.
Right, well, then that sounds like she's already doing BDSM. It feels like I've been tricked into it.
That's what's happened, Jack.
Because she's done a pre-thing, and she's all like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not going to have... That's almost
So,
right.
you turn around, and you just can't take it anymore, and you say mistress, right?
No, I don't. I say banana.
No, you say mistress. Next thing you know...
I lied about forgetting the safe word.
Next
bitch.
thing you know,
get me out of
she's
this
got a
rut.
strap on, and you're
Exactly.
experiencing
That's
all
what
new
I'm terrified
things.
of, Liam. I don't want that.
Well, I mean, that doesn't quite happen in this. In this comic, they're both up for it. They meet on a chat room. They sort of chat via webcam and stuff for 2 months, and then they agree to meet. And the sort of bulk of the story, if you will, it's about their sort of developing relationship and how they feel about each other. Like, neither of them have particularly done this before, so it's about their kind of insecurities about taking on these roles and how that then affects them.
Right.
But there's also quite a lot of like boobies and vaginas.
It sounds like it's just a sex comic.
The thing is, I read it, and then I tweeted the comic book shop and asked them if they could get in the next 3 volumes. So...
Buy them on Amazon.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
You want them to know.
Yeah. I want them to read it as well, so I've got someone to talk to about it. I made Kat read it.
Did she like it?
Not really. She thought it was just average. So... But
are you guys taking any of it to your bedroom?
I'm going to say no, because I feel like, again, I'm the submissive one and she's the dominant one, and I feel like she wouldn't really know when to quit, and I'd just end up in a bad place.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But I think you should read it, Jack.
No, I'm alright.
Why not?
It doesn't sound like my cup of tea.
Well, I don't know why, because it is a very touching love story at the heart of it.
Yeah, but that's like people saying that about 50 Shades of Grey, and you're like, no, it's a sex thing. Don't lie.
But also, what's wrong with it being a sex thing, Jack?
Well, if it is a sex thing, I'm just going to read something that is more appropriate to what I'm into.
Such as?
The story of a woman who goes, oh, good morning, to a guy, and he's like, oh, morning, and they have a lovely day together, and then at the end she says, now let's make love, and then they have very gentle lovemaking.
But where's the interest in that?
Where's the interest in people wanting to be tied up? I'm not judging you, BDSMers. That's fine. You do you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's interesting because it's a bit taboo, isn't it? There's almost a little bit of a, ooh, you can't talk about, ooh, naughty. So it kind of busts the door open a bit, doesn't it?
No. That's what people that are into BDSM try and make people think. It's not taboo. We all accept it now. Get over it, BDSMers. If you want to whip each other, I don't give a shit.
I agree. I think as long as you're not, like, hurting someone against their will...
Yeah.
Crack on.
Yep.
Have fun. And everyone has to be of age.
Obviously.
Yeah, just saying.
It's weird that you had to clarify that.
I didn't want any of our impressionable listeners to misconstrue what I was saying.
What did you think they were going to think?
I don't know.
Don't answer that question. Just move on.
Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
So, this week,
Ugh.
the tables were turned.
Yep.
Gloriously.
Well.
Anime. Bye-bye. I've never watched any more Cowboy Bebop, I'm going to be honest.
Yep, I didn't think you would. I believe I told you that at the end of the last episode.
No,
you said, oh, you might.
The thing is,
no,
I nearly did, and then you tried to reverse psychology me, and I thought, nah, fuck it.
Except that I didn't try. Like, in all seriousness, like I said last episode, I wasn't trying to reverse psychology you. I had already given up on you ever watching it.
Our listeners
you then
be the
convinced
judge of
yourself that I was trying to play mind games, but there is a moment in the last episode, I don't know because I haven't listened back to it yet, but there is a moment where I give up on you so much that I collapsed onto my bed and started looking out the window because I was like, he's not going to watch it, I don't know why I'm trying.
So now we have something that's a little bit of a different change of pace, isn't it?
Yeah, because instead of Liam coming out of it being like, I don't like it, it's the opposite.
It's now Jack coming out of it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So what? Let's come on, tell the listeners what it was that you had to do this week. Well,
Liam forced us to watch a movie called Mutual Appreciation, which is part of the Mumblecore movement, which is shit.
So I know you did a little bit of research around this. I'm very proud of you.
because I was trying to figure out if you were telling the truth about this being a representation of the rest of the genre. Okay.
I didn't realise that was why you were doing the research.
Well, it's because I honestly couldn't believe that there'd be a genre based around what this film was based around.
So did you think that I just told you this film just to be like, lol?
No, I just thought maybe you'd got it wrong, and someone else out there would be like, oh no, it's one of those, like, people that are into it think Mutual Appreciation's the best example, but really it's this film.
And what did you find out?
Everyone thinks Mutual Appreciation is a great example of this subgenre.
Yeah, it really is.
Slash genre.
It really is. So yeah, go on. What from what the research you did? Well, before we get to that,
I read a Wikipedia page. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
It wasn't research.
Before you did that, going into this film, what did you know about it?
I knew it was Mumblecore.
Yeah, and what did you know about Mumblecore?
I knew that you've talked about it before.
So
I knew it was done on a cheap budget.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's not a problem.
That's probably about it. Like, you've told me stuff about it before, but I tune you out sometimes.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So now that you've seen it and you've done a little bit of research, what can you tell us now about Mumblecore?
From what I understand,
Yeah.
Mumblecore is done on a cheap budget, and it's really cheap. It's half of it's like improv,
Yeah.
because I guess they can't afford script writers because of the cheap budget thing, or they're just lazy.
Or maybe it just gives it a more kind of natural
They
feel.
think they're being, like, artistic-y, but
Yeah.
they're not. It's the same way that sometimes an artist gets a bit mental and, like, just throws some paint on a canvas and goes, I've done art, and other artists go, oh yeah, you have done art. And then he goes, I'm real good at art. And they go, yes, you are the best art.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Mumblecore is.
Okay, so very artistic.
No, not artistic. The opposite of artistic. No skill at all. Just film some bullshit, release it, and convince film lovers that it's a thing they should watch.
Okay, and
Scummy is a word I'd like to throw at it. I'm not sure who in the process, but someone in it is definitely scummy. There's just a general someone on this film.
There's an argument to be made that one of the characters is even.
I don't care about the character. Just I'm talking generally the production crew. Somewhere there's a scumbag. I don't know.
So, Mutual Appreciation, directed by Andrew Bajowski.
I don't know who that is. Yeah,
There's a director.
he was also an actor in it.
He was, yep. He played a character called Lawrence in it. We'll get there.
Yep.
What can you tell me about the plot of the film?
A 20-something-year-old, 30 maybe.
No, 20-something.
Okay, 20-something-year-old goes to New York because he wants to be a musician. He meets some people that are like, you could be a musician. He has some money problems. Calls his dad. His dad's like, you should probably get an actual job. The son goes, no, I don't want to get a job. I want to be a musician. I have a gig. And then his dad goes, okay, well, if you're sure. And then he gets into more money troubles, and his dad goes, yeah, son, we're getting like overdrawn notices on your credit cards, which apparently you haven't changed the address for because you're not actually an adult, you're a child. And then his dad's like, maybe you should really get a job. I can legitimately get you a job. And the son's like, meh, music. And then he nearly fucks his mate's girlfriend, and then his friend forgives him, and then everyone's happy, and it's bullshit.
What part did you find to be most bullshit?
I just summarised that whole film in 10 seconds. It's a 2-hour film.
It's not. It's an hour 40.
It's bullshit.
What?
It's actually, no, it's an hour 50 because it's an hour 55 with 5 minutes of credits because they trick you into thinking it's going to have long credits and maybe it'll end sooner, but it doesn't.
Mine is an hour 48.
What? Where did I got 5 minutes extra. Great.
I wonder what the extra was.
Maybe I didn't. I might have just been, maybe it felt like an extra 10 minutes.
I don't know. But, so that was a good description of the plot. Thank you. What did you like about it?
Nothing.
That's a lie.
The music.
The music.
Which isn't even the point of the film. I think there's 2 songs played in the film, maybe.
There is, yeah.
And they're both good. That's it.
Maybe not even 2 songs. Maybe like 1.5.
No, I think he plays one of his old songs and then he plays that new track that he's been coming up with.
Oh, okay.
Also, it's good music, but it's like poor musicianship. He's like, I need a drummer. And the drummer comes in and he's like, can you do good stuff? And the drummer's like, yeah. And then he's like, don't do that. Do this bad stuff that I came up with.
Okay. What did you not like about it then?
Everything else. The characters. I don't like the characters. They're not likeable. I don't like the attitude. I don't like that the story's shit and is basically a month in the life of some 20-year-olds. I don't care. I don't like that it's all black and white. I get that it's a low budget, but you don't have to do it in black and white to prove that. I didn't like the quality. It felt like I was watching a student film. I didn't like the fact that that one couple lives in an apartment without a bed, and then the guy that moves to New York with basically no money has a real bed. I don't understand why. Maybe the couple that have money, one of them's a fucking teacher, maybe he should buy a bed for once. I don't like the fact that Lawrence gets over the fact that Alan and Ellie try and hook up, and he's just like, it doesn't matter to me, I still love her. And Ellie's like, oh, I'm so glad. And then they have a group hug, because that's not weird, and no one should feel uncomfortable if you're having a group hug with a guy that just tried to fuck your girlfriend. It's ridiculous, Liam. I think I've summarised most of my issues with the film.
Okay. Yeah. I think you might have done. So, here's what I liked about it.
Go on. Listeners, I'm genuinely, whilst I sound like I hate it, I've been saying to Liam since I watched it, I genuinely want to understand why he likes it. Like, not in a mean way, not in my usual argumentative way.
Yeah.
I legitimately want to know why Liam likes this film.
Now, I want to preface this by saying, one, I've always found it really hard to justify why I like stuff, but I'll try my best.
I know, I do the same. It's like with the anime. I always struggle to say why I liked it.
Exactly. And number two, it's going to be real fucking hard for me to talk about this without sounding too film snobby.
I think it's fine. I think we should give you an allowance to be a bit film snobby in this one. Because I feel like that's what this genre is.
Yeah, I would agree. This genre, to me, definitely feels like it is the sort of genre that... I wouldn't say it's made for film fans.
No.
But I would say film fans might find more to appreciate within it. Like, this is 110% not the sort of film that you could just show to, like, a general audience.
No, definitely.
I don't think it's unfair to say, not that they wouldn't get it, but they wouldn't like it. And that's one of the things that I like about it. Not that it's, like, deliberately tries to be unlikable. I don't think that's what it does. What I like is, as particularly when I first stumbled across this genre, which was maybe like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
It captures this real post-college, very new to adulting. Like when you think you grow up through life and you have the school bubble, the high school bubble, then the college university bubble, and each of those bubbles you get given a little bit more responsibility and a little bit more, and then university ends and it's like, right, welcome to the world, and you're like, shit, everything sucks. And these films are very much people at that part of their life trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing. And to me, I can draw a lot of comparisons between these sort of films and coming-of-age films. Obviously, coming-of-age tends to deal with a little bit younger. It'll normally be kids kind of growing up a bit. This, to me, when I first discovered it, very relatable. That I finished university, I've just sort of stumbled into a job that I'm not massively getting a whole lot out of. I feel like I've worked the last 20 odd years of my life, and the kind of things that I thought I was working towards aren't panning out. Now, I understand it's a very sort of millennial kind of problem, although I don't particularly like using that term.
Yep.
This is 100% a sort of subgenre almost. It's very much rooted in American independent film. I think that's undeniable. Like you said, it has a very low budget feel to it. The aesthetic, the quality, it's not quite there, and it doesn't even really have a story most of the time.
No.
What it is, like you said, it's a snapshot of maybe a month or so in these characters' lives, and the characters aren't all necessarily likeable.
None of them are likeable.
I would disagree with that, though.
Who did you like?
I liked Lawrence. I felt really bad for the guy.
I thought, yeah, but that's what I mean. He's then sort of doesn't redeem himself. I felt bad for him for most of the film until that end bit, and then I was like, Lawrence, have a go at them.
But the thing is, they didn't really do anything wrong.
No, Alan did. I understand forgiving Ellie, because she's like, I've nearly made out with it. We nearly hooked up. No, even then, right? You say they didn't do anything wrong, but they 100% did.
What did they do wrong?
They agreed to meet up, knowing that their goal was to have sex with each other. Alan let her into his house, knowing that she was trying to sleep with him.
Wait, how did they know that?
Liam, she goes, do you want to drive back to your house? He says yes. They get to his house, and she goes, I've actually lost your album. Could I grab a copy of it? And instead of just waiting at the door like she's going to, she comes in and sits on his bed.
Has a beer, that's normal.
Your room's really nice. It's not, it's a bad room.
Let's also bear in mind.
So she's got low standards on what makes a nice room because of the whole bed thing.
Let's bear in mind, these two characters are friends. It's not like they've just met and this
No,
has
but
happened.
it's so obvious that they're going to hook up.
So...
And you know they're both thinking it.
Well, they did talk...
I mean, it was obvious, to be fair, it was obvious from the beginning that there was going to be a scene about this, because the way they act towards each other, I was like, Alan is definitely trying to fuck her.
Okay, so... Right. Sorry, I just hit the desk.
In rage?
No, I was just shifting in my chair. Would you say it was badly acted, then?
No, not necessarily. Well, it was.
Because I actually really like the acting in this. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know if they do any, I don't know if they do enough acting to merit being, I'm trying to think of Alan's other emotions, but he just does nonchalant and sad.
And drunk, don't forget.
Oh yeah, fuck, what's that scene about? That doesn't make any sense either.
Can we talk about that scene?
Is that the one that's your favourite scene?
No.
Oh.
No. I just have a fun fact about it.
Was he actually drunk?
No.
Oh. That's bullshit.
Let's talk about the scene so people who maybe haven't seen it can catch up.
He gets drunk.
Yeah, it does something that I think is quite weird.
Are we talking about the same that he dresses up as a lady?
Yeah. So he goes to... So his friend, Lawrence, has basically said after his gig, he's gone, we're going to this party, come and join us. He gets sidetracked for a little bit with Sarah, who we need to talk about, and ends up at this party way after it's all finished. And now it's just three female friends. We kind of join them in the middle of what seems to be quite a deep conversation.
Yes. And
he just sort of comes in. He's already a little bit drunk, but he just sort of makes himself almost at home.
He's very drunk.
Yeah. And then the women obviously decide to dress him up. Now,
of course,
we could, if we wanted to put our film hats on, we could probably read a lot into that.
Could we?
Them dressing him up as a woman and what that might say about him and what he's trying to convey and how the women treat him and how he treats them. Probably a lot to say there, but we don't have to.
I mean, you can if you want.
The fun fact: one of the women, the one that puts the eyeshadow on him,
yep,
was in a movie called Funny Ha Ha which is often sort of credited as being the first Mumblecore film.
Okay.
The facts aren't always fun, but they are always facts.
Fucking hell, that's a terrible fact. Liam, did you know that Robert Downey Jr., who plays Iron Man, was also in a film called Due Date?
Yeah, with Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
Can't say
that's
his
not
name.
a fun fact. You can't just say an actor was in 2 films. How interesting.
No, alright, here's what is interesting. Those are her only 2 acting roles. Nah, I made it interesting.
That's not interesting.
Fuck you. She's also super hot. Well, not super hot, but like hot enough. Can I say that?
I don't know, but I'm leaving it in.
Cool. Yeah.
Like,
Can we talk about Sarah?
Yeah, is that the radio lady?
Yes, that is the radio lady.
Yeah.
What did you think of their kind of dynamic?
I don't know. Like, nothing. It was mundane.
Because she kind of just launches herself on him.
Well, yeah.
And, you know, later on she's like, oh, well, I'm not looking to have you as my boyfriend. And because he's trying to do that, like, I don't really want this to progress any further. And she's like, I'm very much on the defensive. And when she says, I wasn't chasing you, I didn't want you to be my boyfriend, did you believe that or not?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because I almost felt like she was kind of masking something there. Like, she'd been put on the back foot and she was just trying to save a bit of face.
Oh, I didn't think so. I thought she was actually just saying that.
Fair enough.
She says it very matter-of-factly, because he's like, I can't do this. And she's like, I don't want to do this. I just want to keep having sex.
Yeah. The film does have these weird little sort of... It drifts off to these little side stories that don't really play into the main story, which is obviously...
Yeah, I think the term you're looking for is that no one gives a shit about, yeah.
So the main story, I think we can agree, is the fact that Alan and Ellie are friends. Ellie's dating Lawrence. Alan is friends with Lawrence. And they're friends who basically admit to having an attraction to each other, a mutual attraction.
Is that the main plot point? Because that happens in the last, 15 minutes.
Well, no. That doesn't happen. They're building up this mutual appreciation of each other throughout the whole movie.
Oh, I've just got the name of the film. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's sort of what it's about. And like you said, or maybe not, I said maybe, they never actually act on that. They talk about it, and that's my favourite scene. So the one you talked about where she comes into his bedroom, and they're just on the bed, and this is why I think it's well acted. There's clearly chemistry between the two, and they do that thing that people of our generation do, and it is infuriating, but it's very accurate, where they talk around a subject. They're not particularly upfront about it. They'll talk around it, but in a way that you still understand what is essentially being said.
Yeah.
And I personally just love that scene. I feel like it really nicely captures a very kind of accurate portrayal of people our age trying to do this whole adulting thing, trying to have an adult conversation about something, but also just completely and obviously not really knowing what they're doing.
But I think that's my issue with the whole genre then.
Okay.
Because if I want to watch something factual, right?
Yeah.
I watch a documentary, which is real life.
Yeah.
And then if I want to watch something that is a break from reality, that's when I watch movies or TV.
Yeah.
Usually. I don't like shit. Because even stuff that's based on a true story or real war stories and shit, like Band of Brothers, is still interesting.
Yeah,
because it's based on real stories and they tell them in an interesting way.
Well, no,
this is based on. This isn't
like...
even based on true stories. This is just based on things that happen to people.
Yeah.
And then they try and make it into a film, and you're like, no.
But don't forget as well, something like Band of Brothers, it's 100% a true story, but it's also based on a very kind of extreme time. That's not just an average day in the life of someone.
That's deliberate. That's because movie makers have realised that to make a film that is interesting and people want to watch, you use stuff that's interesting.
So that's
this feels like people are I don't know. It's the whole you shouldn't just want to watch all this Hollywood stuff. You should be interested in this stuff that we're trying to do with our films. And you're like, no. The reason Hollywood's big is because Hollywood have got it. They figured it out.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. And that's why it's popular and this isn't popular. But I don't think they're trying to say, well, you should be watching this. I
don't know if they have a message, Lynn. I said that as an example because I really hope that there is a message, because honestly, I didn't get any messages from this film.
I think...
It feels like someone I believe the text I sent to you, Liam,
was
it felt like someone had shat in my computer, digitised the shit, and then forced me to watch said digitised shit.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think there is a point to this, potentially. I think
But then what's the point? Why should I watch someone fumbling around? They should call it Fumblecore, because they're fumbling with it.
It's a snapshot of someone's kind of experiences, you know?
But then it's not like an average experience. I'd have got it if they were trying to do an average life, but they're not.
But how are they not?
They sleep on the fucking floor.
Yeah.
We don't. We're 20-somethings. Well, yeah. You're still a 20-something still.
Yeah,
for a while.
still. I've still got a bit of time left for like 20-something.
Yeah.
Year and a bit.
But we're not fucking around sleeping on the floor. My friends that were like low on money and could have ended up in these situations instead did the sensible thing and saved money and went and did shit.
But how many of us like tried to go to London and become musicians?
I'm in London.
Did you try and become a musician?
No.
Exactly.
But what are you talking about? I know kids that are doing music and are getting good at music. Like, there is a point, most people don't chase their dreams this dogmatically. Like these people who are like I don't understand why he can't face the reality. That's what it just annoys me, Liam, because they don't act like real people.
So that is one of the things. This is clearly not necessarily a real person. It's the people that make this film, who I think are trying to kind of represent a part of their lives, are clearly like very creative types of people.
Oh, I think I've just got it. Oh God, it's even worse than I thought.
Go on.
Yeah, because they're trying to do the whole. Are they doing the whole like? Oh, he's trying to pursue music. Like how we're trying to pursue filmmaking. Is it one of those things, Liam?
I think you could definitely read that into it.
Oh, then I hate them even more, because if that's their experience of the world, maybe they should grow the fuck up and stop acting like children. And buy a fucking decent camera.
Some of them have gone on to be, like, people are saying that the mumblecore sort of subgenre is dead because the people that made their names in it have gone on to do much better, bigger budgeted things.
But then surely that should be like... Well, I hope it's dead, because I'd hope that they got these big jobs and went, oh, we were acting like kids.
Here's the thing. I think you can possibly draw a lot of comparisons between something like this and something like Clerks. Now, Clerks goes out of its way to be a lot more approachable to a wider audience. Like, it's a comedy, it's scripted, acted, etc. But it's one of those, it's someone doing something with what they can afford, with the resources available to them, trying to tell their story in the best way they know how.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And I think this is trying to do the same thing. Now, like you said, this is not going to have wide appeal.
No.
Definitely not. But I personally love seeing these characters and just spending a little bit of time with them and just seeing them make mistakes and have these weird, awkward conversations. And it's a lot of people would say it's mundane.
Yes.
And I understand that. But it's normality put on screen. And sometimes when you watch a lot of people jumping out of explosions and surviving like death-defying falls, there's a time and a place for that when it is totally needed and it's totally fine. But sometimes it's okay to just watch people being people as well.
But you know what? This would be my counter-argument to that.
Okay.
I get that. I get, watching a lot of all this crazy stuff, maybe every now and again you want some normalcy.
Yeah.
But you know where else you can find that? In your own fucking life.
No, that's boring. No, we're not though, are we?
Yeah, we are. Because we're not normal by society standards, but you are your own normal. You're your baseline for everything. That's how it works. Because you have the most experience with what you do. So even when you know something you do is weird, it's your normal because you do it. So if you want to watch people being normal because you're like, everything's crazy, just go and live your life and be like, oh, this is normality. Sleep on your bed and go, oh, I don't live in an apartment suite at the top of a block of flats. I live in a normal house.
Also,
just feed your fish, Liam, and be like, I have fish. Who has fish? That's normal. Whoa.
Also, you know how you were saying about sleeping on the floor? I've only very recently stopped doing that.
Yeah, but you had a reason. These people just seem to sleep on the floor.
Hey, they might have had broken beds. We just didn't see that part of the story. We don't know.
Well, then that's more... I would have accepted that. I would have loved a scene where Ellie goes, Lawrence, when are we fixing our bed? And he goes, oh, we haven't got the money at the moment. Because at least then it would have made sense, as opposed to just the implication being they're too poor to have a bed, but Alan, who hasn't got a job, has a bed.
See, I just personally enjoyed spending... I like seeing these characters and being like, oh, look, here's more people that haven't got their shit figured out like me.
Go on the internet. We're all there.
Yeah, but I like films, Jack.
Yeah, I like games. I like games, but I wouldn't play a game where I just played through a normal person's life except The Sims. But that's not normal because I can get abducted by aliens.
Even so, it's quite normal.
No, I make my guy far too sexy and then make him sleep with all the women in town.
Okay, well that's not normal.
Exactly. My guy is not normal.
But have I done sufficient
abnormal.
job of explaining to you why I like it? Do you understand a little bit?
I think I understand why you like it.
Okay.
Do you understand why I hated it?
Oh yeah, like I said before going into it, like
you did say you
no
thought
idea.
I'd not like it, and then I said, well, I assume I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
You were right.
Again, not trying to be pretentious about this, but it is not a film for, like, it's not really a genre, it's more of a movement, which is 100% a film snobby thing to say, but still.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I completely understand that it is not easily accessible to people.
No, it really isn't.
Like, you have to be definitely a certain type of person to enjoy this sort of thing. The other thing that I find with this is I find these films super inspiring.
But yeah, go on.
Because I feel like if these films can be made, talking about what they talk about and the way they're done, there's literally nothing stopping me from making a film like this.
No, that's true, there isn't.
Like, it feels like, you know, you watch Die Hard, yeah, and you're like, fuck, there is no way I could make a film like that. But you watch something like this, you're like, yeah, I could have a go at that.
I don't know if that's a good thing, though, or a bad thing.
I'm going to take the positive outlook and say it's good.
I don't know. I'm still convinced. It's like, I was talking about modern art earlier and the comparison there, and like, I honestly, I believe this wholeheartedly. I don't think that maybe there are people now that do modern art that are genuinely like, I'm trying to make a point or I'm trying to show something, and maybe it's the same with like modern mumblecorers.
Yeah.
But I honestly believe that the people that found these things, so like the first guy that did modern art, I think they're all laughing and just being like, I can't believe people have fallen for this.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah, I genuinely, like, maybe not the original pop art, not pop art, modern art, because that comes from pop art and they actually tried and did stuff.
Yeah.
It's the things like, there was a canvas in the Tate Modern when I went there that just has a slash down the middle of it. That's it. A guy cut a canvas.
Yeah.
And it got put in a museum. And I was like, really?
But if let's say somehow some historical document was unearthed and it revealed that the Bible was written 100% as a practical joke, that does not detract from the value that people bring to it.
No, and that's fine, but it can still piss me off.
That's true. Do you feel like, after watching something like this, do you feel like there's a story to be told between like your experiences or maybe the experiences you've had with friends where, you know, it's not outrageous, it's not like the sort of Hollywood story, but it's maybe on a more personal level, it's more about a kind of a relationship?
No, I think you could make a story about most people. I just don't think many people would watch it.
No, but
and I think that's maybe
okay.
the difference. I don't know if it is. I think if you know that someone's not going to watch, like, I don't know.
Well, no, because it's like this podcast. We know that most people probably won't listen to it, but that's not why we do it. We do it for the small, teeny, tiny amount that do.
Yeah, but I don't charge people £2 to rent it on Amazon.
Not yet.
And that's what the mumblecore dickheads do.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not making money on this podcast that I know not a lot of people listen to.
Not yet.
I know, but that's the thing. I wouldn't until we knew it was financially viable, and even then, it wouldn't be the people paying. It would be like advertisers and stuff.
But what if
I paid to watch that film, Liam? I paid for them to show me what I could have been doing with 2 hours of my life.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're right, because I could have done better. I'd have had more fun than them.
I don't think you could find a girl willing to say that she finds you attractive.
I think I could if I was given the budget they had. I don't know what budget Mutual Appreciation got. If someone gave me that money,
it was probably like maybe a couple of thousand.
I reckon if someone gave me a couple of thousand and went, cool, you've got, so let's say the time frame of that movie is maybe like a month.
Yeah.
So I'd say give me a week,
okay,
£2,000, and I bet I could find a girl to say, oh, I think you're attractive.
Without having to pay her?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like you could easily do that if you're like, here's £2,000.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to do that,
Yeah. Now here's the thing, Jack. Why don't we film that and we've just got a mumblecore on our hands?
Well, because you've got to give me £2,000.
I can't afford to.
I know.
Maybe 20?
It's very low.
Take her to Nando's.
Maybe we should. Maybe this is like we should try and do, is at some point film our own mumblecore film.
Honestly, I would be so excited to do that.
Okay.
Because I really do feel like, not even as an exercise in quality, just as an experiment in, can this be something that we can do?
What if we find out we can, though? It'd piss me off so much.
But I feel like...
What if people loved it? What if we made a mumblecore film and everyone that loved mumblecore loved it? It was like, this is the best example of mumblecore ever. And I would hate it, Liam.
I would love that.
I'd have to go to cons. Do they have conventions?
But they have film festivals.
Ugh.
So that's...
I'd go to them and they'd be like, oh, I just totally get what you were saying. And I'll be like, I wasn't saying anything. I just wanted to get a shot of a guy pooing.
Now, again, this might be my ignorance, but I know in America at least, there's, particularly with the film schools and whatnot, there's a big movement with independent, sort of low budget, the student films and like student film festivals and stuff. Like, I've seen a small handful of that kind of thing. Not too aware that we really have that over here so much in the same way.
Well, what? Yeah, maybe not.
But I feel like
I think we do. We have an independent movie scene.
Yeah, we do. I feel like
I don't know if it's as much funded, like, created by students per se.
Yeah, but I feel like at least with the Mumblecore stuff, what seems to have happened is these films have given certain directors a good starting off point, and I'd be very curious for you to maybe at some point, as a fun exercise, we'll pick a Mumblecore director, we'll watch their first film and their most recent film where they've actually been given a budget.
I'll do that when you finish a series of anime.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Because that could be an interesting experiment, I think, to see how that style changes once they have money behind them.
Okay, yeah, I'd kind of be interested in that as well.
Yeah, like, so there's a Mumblecore director who did a fuck ton of Mumblecore films, a guy called Joe Swanberg.
Okay.
I really wasn't a fan of most of his films. And then he did a film that you might have even heard of called Drinking Buddies. It's got Olivia Wilde in it, Anna Kendrick, Ron Livingston.
Oh, okay.
And the guy from New Girl.
Oh, okay.
Jake something.
Yeah.
It's definitely has its roots in Mumblecore, but it's 100% more of an independent, kind of American independent, the sort of thing you'd expect from that label, like in the vein of Little Miss Sunshine or something.
Right, got you.
And genuinely really enjoyed the film. Hated all of his Mumblecore stuff, but really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
So I think it would be interesting to see how their style does change with a budget.
Alright, well maybe we'll do that in the future then.
Yeah, maybe if we make our own Mumblecore film, someone will be like, that's good, and then eventually we'll get a budget to make a real film.
We'll call it Jack and Liam's BDSM Adventures.
I think we could probably get the budget to make that without having to go through any loopholes or anything, just maybe contacting the right people.
I wouldn't know because I don't know how much bondage gear is because I don't own any.
Oh, it's expensive.
See, that's the issue.
But it depends how legit you want to go. We could just pick up rope real cheap. In this film that you've just pitched, what's the story?
I'm not sure.
Because I feel like that's something.
It's probably about 75% sex.
Yeah, but like, so it's Jack and Liam's bondage adventure, right?
Yeah.
Now,
it feels like it's a comedy.
Well, my concern is
assumedly it's two people stumbling into a position where they end up like maybe they both have to become. It's one of those wacky sort of films where they've got mistaken identity,
right?
And they've been assumed that they're two doms who have come to a got it. They're two guys.
Yep.
They turn up at a hotel.
Okay.
They get mistaken for there are two famous doms.
Okay.
Who are meant to have come to this convention where there's a lot of sub women.
Yeah.
They both see these women. They're like, oh, some very sexy ladies. Maybe we should go along with this. And they end up finding true love. One of them does. The Jack character finds true love, and the Liam character finds out that he'd be a great dom.
I think we could.
I would watch that film.
Yeah, I think we could film that quite easy.
There we go, sorted.
We'd probably need to hire some actresses with certain talents.
Yeah, maybe.
How much sex is in this film?
Now that I've actually pitched it, less than I originally thought. But there's definitely sex scenes, but they're not, they're not full on.
So with this film, how much like actual porn is there in it?
None. There's no porn.
Okay.
And I know that's going to disappoint you, but there's sexy scenes. It has a content warning.
How much screen time does the Jack and Liam characters share?
Is in both on at the same time?
Yeah.
Probably a fair amount. There's got to be like scenes of them talking and shit.
But then, while they're fully dressed or not?
Yeah. Okay, I imagine there's I imagine there's a very early scene where they awkwardly involved in some situation where both of them are wearing like full on leather harnesses and shit, and they both are very awkwardly like, what the hell are we doing?
Okay.
And there's obviously a scene where the Jack character wants to leave and tries to leave,
but the Liam character stops him for some reason.
To keep fucking.
Right.
They won't let them stay if both doms aren't there. Okay.
So I think the next step is you go to Soho and start pricing up costumes.
Got it. Sorted.
But we'll make. So this isn't a Mumblecore. This is a different project.
It sounds like it's not a Mumblecore anymore.
Yeah. Maybe we could start our own genre. Mumble whore?
Oh my god, how is that not a genre? Mumble whore. They're Mumblecore films, but they're about sex.
Done.
Let's start it. It's a movement. We're doing it.
Fantastic. Mutual appreciation out of 5.
1.
That's higher than I was expecting.
I was going to give it 0.5, but I've given it a 1. I'm not sure why.
maybe I'd talk you around.
No, I think maybe for the Lawrence character.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd say 3.5 out of 5.
I don't know. A 1 for me is like, don't go and see this, people. If you didn't watch it before this episode, don't go and see it.
I think after listening to us talk about it, they'll 100% have a good idea if it's something that they would want to see or not.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we've covered like the two different.
Yeah,
views,
I think we actually did quite a good job this time.
I think we did. Yeah,
Well
we didn't
done.
fall out.
No, we didn't. We had quite a rational discussion.
Yeah, it's weird.
We've
It
kept
feels weird
it-
having a normal discussion.
We've kept it in a good timing.
We have. I'm weirded out. What's happening?
What are we doing next time?
In 2 weeks or on the next episode, however you want to use your time frame, we're going to be talking about No Man's Sky, which came out last week.
We did.
But so we're going to be like a bit delayed on it by the time you hear it. But it'll be interesting because it's one of the most anticipated games on PS4.
Yeah, and it's
So-
unlike the other games we've done in the past. It's not like a multiplayer game.
No,
We
we're
both
both going
have
to be
our own very unique, very individual experiences to this game.
yeah. It's going to be interesting.
More so than any other game.
Yeah, how
So-
exciting!
You can tune in then for that. I've been Liam Underwood.
I've been Jack Kempster. If you want to get in contact with us, tweet us at nerdonnerd or email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, why not? Do it. Come on, it'd be fine. You just have to find us first, and that's the real
That's the
challenge.
difficult bit. We're like a little puzzle.
Yeah, but if you can unlock that puzzle, there'll be riches galore in store for you.
Yep.
You whore.
Okay, well, let's not insult them.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take it back if you subscribe.
Fair enough. There you go. That's the deal, listeners.
So, bye.
Bye.